My guest today is Kevin Comerford, a native of Pleasanton, California, and the founder of Service Champions in Northern California. His journey began in 2003, driven by a passion for exceptional service and personal growth. Kevin's commitment to extraordinary service and continuous team training sets him apart. His dedication to personal and professional development, fueled by fitness, health, and daily gratitude, shapes his positive spirit. Kevin's philosophy of making your future bigger than your past drives innovation and excellence in all he does. He's also the author of Champion Mindset, Building Greatness by Having the Right Philosophy and Values. Today, he shares the secrets behind his remarkable success. Join me as we dive into the world of Kevin Comerford and uncover the keys to his achievements. Hello, Kevin. How are you?
I'm good.
Nice to meet you today, finally.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Happy to be here.
Yes, I'm so happy you're here at my studio today. Wanting to meet you for a long time. I've been impressed by what you've been accomplishing. You accomplished a lot in your life. Can you touch base, what is it that did you always have a goal or like a focus or tell me about your story.
Yeah. So I would say that the message that I'd love people to know about me is the fact that I've been able to build a business that has over 450 people.
Okay.
And it's located in Northern California.
Okay.
And it's a residential heating and air conditioning company. So it's a service business that takes care of mom and dad in the home if their furnace or air conditioner breaks down or they need electrical work. My company goes out and takes care of that.
Okay.
But the bigger thing is I built this business as 100% owner of the business. Started with my own money, no outside investors. But I did it all knowing that I wanted to also make sure that I balanced family. I wanted to always make sure that I was managing my time with my wife, my time with my children, my time with my parents, because the last thing I wanted to become was a slave to my business. And I wanted to make sure that I'm going to carve out time for my family. I'm going to carve out time for my fitness. I'm going to carve out time for my faith. I'm going to carve out time for the financial components. And I'm also going to carve out time to make sure that I'm always learning. So future learning.
Okay.
So those are the 5 F's that really have helped me keep balanced with regards to business as well as my personal life.
Okay. So, was it always did you have that in mind from the beginning when you started it? These are going to be my 5 F's. Is that how you started?
So
or was it like a evolution?
It was. I started the business in 2003. I started it from scratch. I knew I had a vision of what I wanted to be and become, and I built a great team. I brought in a great team around me, people that I had worked with in the past. But I threw myself into the business when I first started. 7 days a week, taking the phone home at night, so I was answering the phone. And as I began to grow the business, I also knew that I wanted, knowing that I wanted to make sure I I managed and balanced the family piece of this,
Yeah.
it evolved. It evolved as I was making a lot of mistakes.
Okay.
I was making a ton of mistakes in business, making a ton of mistakes when I first started out. So I think it was just making sure that I looked at, okay, the situation that happened, what did I learn from this situation? Because I'm the type of person that there is no such thing as success and failure.
Yeah.
There's really just success and learning.
Okay.
So what did I learn from this situation that can help me as I move forward?
Okay. So what helped you evolve? Like, did you just sit down one day and say, I'm going to improve things? Or was it like, okay, did you make a plan on this is what I'm going to do?
I would say what helped me a lot was leadership training classes, reading a lot of books on leadership from people like Jim Rohn, Tom Hopkins, constantly feeding my mind with a lot of positive things. I'm a person, Sanjana, that never watches the news because it emotionally gets me all anxious, and I've learned that I need to just close that off and make sure that I don't read the newspaper either. I never read the newspaper or even anything online about what's going on and the negativity that's going on, because I've always really focused on the things I can control. And the things I can control are what I'm putting into my mind. So reading was a big part of my journey. Having great mentors and me taking action to meet with them. And me setting up the appointments. I remember meeting with a mentor of mine that said, "Hey, I'm willing to meet with you, Kevin." His name was Joe. But it's on you. You're the one that needs to schedule it. You're the one that needs to stay in front of me. And so I took that to heart and thought, okay, Joe wants to meet with me. He's a busy man. He was running a $380 million business. So it was on me. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. So books, great mentors, leadership training classes from a group that I have been a part of called Rapport Leadership. And I would also say a class that I went to that I've gone to for years about entrepreneurial coaching, which is called Strategic Coach. And then the fifth one would be some learning I got from a guy in Pleasanton by the name of John Tompkins, who really helped me with the words that I was using that were coming out of my mouth, and making sure that I'm always speaking positive words, speaking what I want rather than what I don't want. So those were really the 5 things that helped me a lot.
So, I happen to read a little bit of your book, and I'm going to read it more.
Yes.
But it says champion mindset. So what kind of mindset does it doesn't mean like a champion, how to create a mindset of a champion? Is that what?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that a champion mindset means there's really 2 ways to look at any situation. And I'll tell you a story that I think helps me understand this. Let's say you've got a young girl, and she's about ready to cross the street. And she steps out onto the street. And as she's stepping out onto the street, along comes an ambulance that's going really fast by her. And at the last minute, she steps out of the way. And she's fine. She gets out of the way. She's safe. Now, there's 2 ways to look at that situation. You can look at it as a victim, like, oh my gosh, that ambulance almost hit me. And what if they would have hit me? My life would have totally changed. Everything would have been different in my life. And you can go down that hole of negativity and anxiety, or you can look at it and say, okay, I stepped out of the way. Thank goodness I had great reflexes. Thank goodness I'm an athlete. Thank goodness that I had the wherewithal to hear that coming, and I was able to get out of the way. And okay, I understand why that thing was flying by, that ambulance was going by me, because it's going out to take care of somebody.
Yeah.
But there's totally two ways to look at that.
Okay.
I could look at that and go down this negative victim way, or I can go down, okay, what's the positive? What's the, how can I look at that situation as far as in a positive light?
Okay. So the champion mindset is a mindset at any instant in life where you can think whatever is happening in a positive way.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Correct. And how I do that, Sanjana, is how I live that, and I speak about this in the book, is every morning I wake up and I write down what were my top 3 or 4 wins from the previous day.
Okay.
No matter what kind of day that I had, I can, when I wake up, sometimes I've got stinking thinking going on, and I need to win the battle in my mind every single day.
Yeah.
So what I do is as I speak about in the book, I'll take about 90 minutes every single morning to write down, okay, this doesn't take me 90 minutes, but the first thing I'll do is I'll write down what were my top 3 to 5 wins from the previous day.
Okay.
And why were they wins? What was it? What were the emotions that going on so that made me feel really good about that being a win? Whether it was I connected with a person, I went and I had a great workout, I sweat and I was able to stretch after. But what were those things that I really feel good that I consider a win? And then what that does is that puts me in a totally positive frame of mind.
Okay.
So now I'm ready to tackle today.
Okay.
So now I can say, okay, this is what I accomplished yesterday. Some of the things I want to still capitalize on.
Yes.
They're and now I see all the things that I accomplished. I want to capitalize on those things further. How can I do that? And that's what helps me. Okay, what do I want to accomplish today? So I'll write down the 3 to 5 things that I want to win, that I want to accomplish today. And it's just every single day. It's okay. What were my wins from yesterday? What do I want to accomplish today? What were my wins from yesterday? What do I want to accomplish today? Okay. It helps me stay organized.
Okay.
Helps me stay positive. I've got it all here. I've got it all here in my journal. If you were to come to my home, you would see that I've got about 200 of these, all dated and stacked in my office, because I started this practice in 2009.
Okay.
And it was really because of some challenging stuff that was going on in my life back then.
Yeah.
I'd just been hit. My business was doing well.
Yeah.
But I had been hit with a very large embezzlement, where somebody had come in and stole about $1.3 million over the course of 3.5 years at my company. Okay. And it was wow.
This was 2009?
2009. I discovered it at the end of 2009. And I went to a class that taught me about journaling right before this situation happened. Okay. So it was almost a gift from a higher power to start journaling, to stay focused on the positive, because I was about ready to get hit by a storm.
Yes. Yeah.
And the storm for me was that embezzlement that almost put me out of business.
And then the writing it down helped you handle it.
Helped me handle it, exactly. Yeah. Helped me handle it, helped me get over it, helped me to make sure I was focused on the positive, because I was really beating myself up over it. I was thinking, people look to me as the leader of the organization. Yeah. I let them down. I was almost embarrassed.
Yeah. And so how did that happen, right? Yeah. That feeling.
And then a lot of trust issues.
Yes.
Like this person that was my accounting manager. I had put so much trust in her. And all the while she was stealing from me. And so I was like, okay, I was very guarded against I was very guarded, almost becoming very calloused.
Yes.
And what I realized is I kind of relate it to if somebody in a marriage gets cheated on, and how devastating that can be. Yet in order to experience the joys of life, you have to love again.
Yes.
And I can be cold and calloused and angry at other people that I'll never want to have a relationship with that woman, any women, or I could be like, look, I need to get over it, and I need to learn that I need to trust again, because what I've learned is there are way more people. Most of the people in my company just want to come to work and do a good job. They want to put in, they want to succeed, they want to work hard. And I just need to create an environment for them to be able to do that, and that's what I've done at Service Champions.
So you talked about I read the core values, and you know how they are talked about in the company regularly, right? So what is it that you guys do to implement? Like, how is it implemented?
Yeah, that's a great question.
From day to day, like.
So I think more than anything, in order for the core values to stay alive, I have to keep them alive.
Okay.
I have to reference them a lot.
Okay.
I have to be the one when I'm in front of my company, I'm referencing core value number 3, which is honor our commitments. And I need to tell a story about how I saw one of our team members honor their commitment.
Okay.
Or giving remarkable service is another core value.
And you have these, you talked about before when we talked briefly, that there are monthly kind of meetings, or
correct,
where
you are encouraging everybody. Like, what is it? Like, what is the format of that? Like,
yeah, monthly all team meetings.
Okay.
And I always share in those monthly all team meetings how the company's doing.
Okay.
Like, I literally share the financials of the company, because I want everybody to know when we're doing well and when we're struggling, because I learned from a very well-known football coach that coached for the Raiders. His name was John Gruden.
Okay.
That if you're having a challenge, you want to share the burden.
Okay.
You want to share the burden with others, because they want to help you. So rather than hide maybe how the company's doing, no, share it with them and come up with a plan, figure out a plan of how we're going to get out of this, because people want to help you.
Okay.
And I was thinking, certainly after the embezzlement, that I was all by myself, and that I got to do this alone. And I was like, no, Kevin, no. So many people want to come alongside of me and help me, as they did, to get through that situation. So back on the all team meetings, I share the financials. We then, and it's called open book management.
Okay.
So they see what our revenues were. They see how much profit we made. Excuse me. I explain how profit is a good thing in business, because we're able to buy new trucks.
Okay.
We're able to invest in new tools. We're able to take care of our clients and continue to be there for the long term.
Yeah.
And so we can continue to grow.
Okay.
We then go over acknowledging who the top performers in each of the areas of our company, whether it's who the top salesperson was, who installed the most, excuse me, I'm sorry, who had the highest level of client satisfaction.
Okay. So, and those celebrations are done monthly.
Correct.
So that people, are encouraged regularly, right?
Correct.
That's a good, that's really like a lot of work, right? Doing it every month.
Every month,
Right.
it does take a lot of choreography. It's a lot of organization.
Yeah.
We've got some great people in our company that run those meetings.
Yeah.
I always have a part at the end where I send just about a 15-minute message,
Okay.
usually something around core values. So after we talk about financials, we'll then acknowledge the top performers in our company, and then I'll usually end it with a message around something about our core values, stories about our core values.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is like, it's like a little, you're actually giving like a story or telling a story where people are, okay, it's around this core value. We're talking about, let's say, integrity or
Right.
making your clients happy, or like,
Yeah.
so that kind of stays in the mind, right? People, when
Correct.
listen to story, it's different from just telling that value, right? Because in
exactly.
a story form, it's more interesting, right?
For sure, for sure. And I, one of the things that I like to share is, that, along the lines of what I said earlier, and we talk about a little bit in the book, is there's two types of mindsets that you can have. You can either have an abundancy mindset or a scarcity mindset.
Okay.
An abundancy mindset means there's plenty for all of us. I'll always be taken care of.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to compete with you. Like, that's called an abundancy mindset. It's the opposite would be a scarcity mindset, which is everything of value is going to be running out. So I need to get mine. I need, and it comes from, a scarcity mindset is driven by fear. And an abundancy mindset is driven from the belief that, again, I'm okay, I'll be taken care of. There's plenty
So
for all
having
of us.
faith, like,
Yes.
that everything will be fine.
Correct.
Yeah. But that's the optimistic side of you, right? Like, you're an optimist, right?
Very much so.
Yeah. So,
And I have to work at it. I have to work at being optimistic. And that, I think, starts when I wake up in the morning.
so this journal helps to,
For sure.
to base it on the 3 to 5, you said, the wins from a
the
day
previous day.
before. And then you're making 3 to 5 wins for
today.
planning for today. And you're not worried about the tomorrow, because that will be taken care of
Correct.
automatically based on today.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. And then I'm gonna grease it back down in the morning. When tomorrow comes, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna look back on what happened, because I'm a believer that in order for me to move forward, I need to look back. I need to look back first.
Yes.
And so I look back at, what I wrote in my journal from my meetings from the previous day. What were the different conversations I had? That's what I'm documenting in my journal, and that's what I'm looking back on.
Okay.
In order for me to move forward effectively.
Okay. All right. The story of Emily, I was really, that was like very, heart, I was feeling it. I was feeling his, like, I wish I was in that position, So this young girl comes to an office, like, can you maybe in your words, it will be more interesting.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Happy to share. So Emily starts her first day at Champion's Air Conditioning.
So let's talk a little bit background. Emily is a new employee.
Yes.
Right?
Brand new. First day on the job.
First day. Okay.
First day on the job. And she happens to be right by the accounting department, and the CEO is standing there and overhears her conversation, and the CEO wants to show Emily, introduce Emily to the company. And so Emily starts by filling out some paperwork, and then the CEO says, "Hey, Emily, I'd love to take you on a tour and just have you meet the other team members at Champion's Air Conditioning." And Emily's like starstruck. She's like, I've never really met a CEO before like this.
Yeah.
I've seen CEO stuff like on Shark Tank on TV, yet I've never really been in the presence of a CEO that wants to spend time with me.
Yeah.
And so she's thinking in her mind now, okay, he's going to teach me about acquisitions and strategies, and we're going to go into this mahogany boardroom and make big decisions. She's like super excited about that.
Yeah.
And what the CEO does, and his name is Joe, is he says, "Hey, come with me, Emily. I'm going to go out in the warehouse, and I just want you to meet some of the people." And then what Emily witnesses for the next hour and a half, is Joe, the CEO, the big head honcho, what he's doing is he's interacting with all the team members on the floor. He's listening to them, having conversations with them, asking them questions, showing a ton of interest in them.
Okay.
And Emily is blown away by this. And Emily's like, oh my gosh.
So that is your management style, right?
Yes.
What do you call it? Managing by wandering around.
Yeah, MBWA, management by wandering around. So when I'm in my company, I will walk around and visit with people, and whether it's going into the call center and visiting with folks there, or going out into the warehouse and visiting folks there. Just my dad taught me that. He's like, the way that you learn the most about what's going on in your company is just have conversations with the people out in the warehouse. They'll really tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
And never think, Kevin, that you're any bigger than any of them. You're stay humble. Stay humble and be able to communicate with everybody, and because everybody's important in your company.
Yeah. So Emily is the main character in the book, right? Is she? I haven't read the whole book, but is it going to be throughout her story?
It is. It's her story and her journey that she goes through, learning the core values from the different team members. And then she learns the core values through different examples of seeing how they work and how they operate, and different stories that they tell about the core values, but also Emily sitting there watching them. For example, one of the core values is give remarkable service. And Emily watches one of the technicians. She's on a ride along. She's literally in the truck with the technician. And the technician takes the time to, fix the air conditioner, which the client expects us to do. But the technician also sees that the client has some flowers on their back porch. So the technician waters the flowers, cleans off the back porch, and does some things that are totally outside of the air conditioning repair, just to blow away the client. Or knowing the name of the dog, the technician walked up to the front door and said, "Hi, Max," or "This must be Max." How did the tech know that the dog's name was Max? Well, when the call center people were the call center agent was having a conversation with the client, the call center agent heard the dog barking in the back and asked the client about their dog, and showed interest in the dog and asked the client what the name of the dog was, and then entered that into the client's account so that the tech could use that information to build what we call emotional resonance. Blow the client away. Just show the client that the little things matter to us. And that's really in what give remarkable service means, and how it shows up. And the core value reads, every interaction will leave a mark. Make it positive and memorable, so much so the client will remark to your friends and family, to their friends and family. Wow the client with your actions and solutions-based approach.
So by remarkable service, it's like you're making a big impression on
Correct.
the client, right? So if they want the service again, because they'll come back to you. There's no way they're going to go to someone else, because now they're deeply influenced by the service, right?
Correct. We made a huge impression. We created this emotional resonance. They will always remember us because there's so much competition, and anybody can fix an air conditioner in our industry. Anybody can. It's what are we doing to go beyond what the client expects us to do?
But I feel like there's a lot of teamwork needed, right? The call center person is taking the right notes.
Yes.
And then the service guy is also reading all those notes
Yeah.
before making that visit.
Correct.
Right?
It's
Because
an entire orchestration.
it is, yeah.
Like you said, the person taking the call, they've got to be thorough. Then the technician's job is to be thorough, read the notes, take your time, slow down. And that's one of the other things we do at our company is we give our technicians fewer calls so they could spend more time with the client, build more of a relationship, look at the entire home and educate them on how the system will work better if they operate it a certain way, rather than running technicians on 10 to 15 calls a day where they're in and out of homes.
Yeah.
We slow our techs down because we feel that less is more.
So quality is more important than quantity, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so spend time. You know how they say, smell the roses, right? So take your time and
Take your time, build a relationship, because bottom line is we want that client when they need something in the future, we want them to only think of us.
That's true. Oh, you also talked about training, right? So do you give regular training to just like everyone in the company? Is it
Yes. Well,
is it all like ongoing?
Yeah, what we did back in 2014, we had a big shortage of labor. A lot of people are getting out of the trades, air conditioning and heating and plumbing and electrical. Those are trades. They're getting out of trades and going a lot towards Silicon Valley. And what we realized was, wow, okay, there's fewer and fewer people in the marketplace that really know how to do what we do.
Yeah.
And so what we decided in 2014 was we needed to start a university.
I read that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah.
so nice way of put, like it's actually you're learning here, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's part of our fourth core value, which is be a lifelong student. We built, and how that manifests itself is we built this university where we teach someone who likes to work with their hands.
So you actually call it a university in the
We do. It's
system?
called Champions University.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for example, for a service technician, it's a 10-week class
Okay.
where they're paid the whole time
Okay.
for paid training, and we teach them how to do the basics of our business, which is
Okay.
maintaining, servicing furnaces and air conditioners.
So anyone who gets hired gets that 10-week training in
So,
the department.
in that department. For sure, the
Okay.
service techs. We do it also for all call center agents.
Okay.
They also have a part of, there's classes for them in Champions University.
Okay.
Our installation technicians also go through.
That's neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody gets, full training
correct.
and it's all paid. So then they're not like, okay, I'm not getting paid right now. So the interest is still there.
That's right.
Okay.
Because what we've learned is we want to hire for attitude and train for skill.
Oh, okay.
So if we find the right person, regardless of what background they have in heating and air conditioning, electrical, whatever background they have, it means nothing. As long as they've got a great attitude and they've got a track record of success in their past, somewhere they've succeeded, they've achieved, whether it's maybe they were a captain of their soccer team, or they learned to play an instrument and they were very successful in a band. Or that to me demonstrates somebody that's got stick-to-itiveness,
Yes.
that has the right attitude to succeed and has the right attitude where they want to do the right thing, they want to do well.
Yeah.
If they've got the right attitude, that's great. We'll bring them in and train them.
On training.
And then we've built these technicians, women and men, because we have a lot of women technicians as well.
Okay.
We build them, and then they know our philosophy, they know our core values, and there's no bad habits. Because when we used to go out and hire techs that work for other companies, they kind of bring with them their culture. They bring with them their bad habits. And so Champions University has been a blessing for us to be able to teach them the technical stuff that they need to learn, also the core values.
So who trains them? Is it the previous staff? Is the ongoing? Do you guys teach each other? Is that how it is?
We have full-time instructors on board. We've got a full-time service technical instructor. We've got a full-time installation trainer. We've got a full-time call center trainer. And we're building out more and more management training. Our university is now run by a principal that was in the Pleasanton Unified School District for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
He left the Pleasanton Unified School District. He was an actual principal when he left to come on board and run Champions University and help us build out service, install, sales, training, and it's magnificent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once the employee is hired, they've been trained, and now do they get a follow-up training also?
Continuous training. Yep. We've got continuous training weekly, where they meet in their location and they get some type of role practicing training or product training on a regular basis, whether it's installers, service techs, salespeople. They're all getting regular training.
Okay, so that's
Ongoing.
the lifelong learning part of that, right?
Yes.
Okay. You talked about culture, company culture. Like, so you said core values is part of the culture.
Yes.
What else do you think is part of a good culture of a company?
Yeah, I think the words that we use at Service Champions, we call it luxury language.
Okay.
Like rather than saying, "Hey, I sold this client a unit," I got the client happily involved.
Okay.
Rather than saying a employee, call them a team member.
Okay.
Rather than saying they're a customer, call them a client.
Okay.
Rather than say, "Have a great day," our language is "make it a great day."
Okay. So choosing the right words.
Choosing the right words.
Right vocabulary.
And we've got a whole list of what contractors say, because we're in the contracting business, and what Service Champion says. So a contractor may call it a contract. We call it an agreement. A contractor may say to a client, "Please sign here, Mrs. Jones." We say, "Please autograph here, Mrs. Jones." So it's
nice.
Much more of a positive way.
Okay.
Because sign, if I say, "Would you please sign right here, ma'am?" It can kind of give the client a little bit of anxiety, where I say, "Hey, if we could just get your autograph here." It's just a lot more positive.
Those, just a little simple word, right, makes a difference.
Simple little things. When we're going to come out and give you a free estimate on your heating and air conditioning system, is what a contractor would say. At Service Champions, we say we're going to come out and give you a custom tailored solution.
Okay.
So it's just, if we expect clients to make a luxury purchase, we have to speak like the language of luxury. We have to, it's what like a Ritz-Carlton teaches their people. You have to speak the language. You have to you have to be professional. Otherwise, you're no different than Motel 6.
Yes, yeah.
So you have to play the part because the client expects you to. They're paying for it. They're paying good, hard-earned money. And so we need to live up to that. So that to me is a big part of culture. How we speak to each other, how we speak to our clients, certainly the core values. And that's really what I did with the book. When I sat down and thought about, okay, what do I want to accomplish because I was every Friday morning, I made it a habit and a ritual that I was going to work on the book. And I just did it over and over. 9 o'clock every Friday morning was the time that I carved out those 2 hours to spend time writing the book. All along I was thinking, okay, our company's growing. And I want to make sure that people are getting the message from me on what our culture is. So I needed to, it's really documented culture. And because as the company gets bigger, when it was small and there was 5 of us around a table, it was really easy.
Easy to transfer.
It was easy for me to talk to everybody and communicate what our vision was, what we stand for. Well, now there's 450 people in 6 different locations. So what I felt was I needed to have documented culture to send that message. And that's really what this book is around. The core values are the language that we use, the mindset that we need to have, how we take care of clients. And it's all built into the book, told through stories.
Okay. All right. So Kevin, do you have any message to the world? Like, everybody's in different professions. Some people, there's all variety of people, right? What is that common, this one message that works for all?
Yeah. I would say,
whether you're professional or not a professional, whether you are, even a homemaker, even a child, even a teenager, like any age group, what is that one message you can give?
I would say what's really been helpful to me is when I do my planning for the upcoming week, I set goals in 5 areas.
Okay.
And I call it the 5 F's.
Okay.
I set goals like, okay, what do I want to do this week in the area of my finances or financial? And for a lot of people...
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
5 F's. What does F stand for?
F.
Like
Financial?
Okay, like is they all F letter?
F letters, yes.
Okay, all right.
Financial. Fitness.
Okay, all right.
What am I going to do this week to make sure that I'm getting in and I'm sweating this week and I'm stretching and I'm building muscle?
Okay.
So financial and
fitness.
for a homemaker, that could be, what am I doing to make sure that I'm balancing the checkbook or whatever. For me, financial a lot of times is what am I doing? What are my big initiatives this week in business?
Okay.
Okay. But everybody's got a financial component.
Or for a teenager, it could be how do I manage my money, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So financial. Number 2 would be fitness.
Okay.
And I put that really high because I'm a believer that self-love is never selfish. If you take care of yourself, you're going to be better for your family.
Yeah.
If you exercise, you're going to be better for your team members.
Yes. Yeah.
The next one is faith.
Okay. All right.
And faith is a lot of different things.
Yeah.
It could be spirituality. It could be, meditating. It could be whatever your definition of faith is.
Okay.
It's really up to that person.
Up to that person.
Yeah. Family and friends. And I put those in the same, family and friends.
Okay.
Like, what am I doing this week to make my family and my close friends a priority? Okay, maybe I'm going to go to a concert with friends of ours on Thursday night. Okay, I'm going to make a goal of that. And the final thing is future learning.
Okay.
What am I doing this week to work on myself? What am I listening to? Maybe I want to listen to this podcast. Maybe I want or listen to a good book, good positive book. What am I doing to continue to fill my mind with positive things? Reading is big because I'm a believer that readers are leaders, and the other way, leaders are readers.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that could be audiobooks or podcasts nowadays, right? Yeah.
Absolutely could be audiobooks. I mean, you've got a university in your car, just driving around, listening. The time that we spend in our car, if you just, rather than listening to that sports radio or the news, putting on a good book and learning that way. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So all 5, and there's no, the number doesn't matter, but they're all important equally, right?
Correct.
So financial
Yes.
and fitness, and it could be anywhere, but they're all important.
All important. And what are my goals this week specifically in each of those areas? And then what I've learned is in order for those things to actually come true, when I'm mapping this out, I need to plug them into my calendar.
Okay.
Like if I'm gonna, what am I doing this week to, I shared it earlier, like what am I doing this week to spend time with my family or my mom and dad? Okay, I need to immediately go, okay, I need to plug that into my calendar on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, this coming Wednesday, we'll say. I need to plug that in, because if it gets onto my calendar, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Whereas if I just set these goals like, hey, I wanna work out 6 times. Okay. The next step is, okay, when am I gonna work out? I'm going to plug it into my calendar. I'm going to plug it in Monday at 7 a.m. or Monday at 6:30, Wednesday at 6:30. So I'm mapping all this out. So my goals then actually become a reality.
Okay. So this is a really good message for everyone who's watching it, like to, make your list,
Yeah.
your most important things to do.
Yeah.
You call it 5 F's.
Yes.
And then it could be any number. And then map them to a calendar, because
Yes.
otherwise it's not going to happen.
Correct.
Right? Otherwise
and
they'll
I-
just remain there, but you have to, there's an action plan, right?
For sure. And depending on the interest of your listeners, I'm happy to come back and talk more specifically about what the weekly plan looks like.
Okay.
Because you're gonna laugh. I have a weekly calendar that I write out. There's my F's: financial, fitness, faith, and my 3 crucial results, but this is the financial part.
Okay.
Fitness, faith, family, future learning. So I map them out, and then here's my calendar.
Okay.
And I plug it in
Okay.
like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like.
Oh my God. Okay. This is.
Now I have it on my phone.
Those 2 pages are the 2.
This is my weekly plan.
Oh, this is your full week plan.
So before I start my plan for the week, I actually look back and do what I call a positive focus.
Okay.
So I look at what were my big accomplishments for the entire week.
Okay.
So I do that daily, as we
Okay.
talked about.
Yeah.
But then when I'm planning my week, like
Yeah.
today's Friday.
Yeah.
So I'll plan. So I'm gonna before my day ends today, I'm gonna plan out my week for next week.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm going to start by doing a positive focus. I'm going to look back on all my daily wins, and I'm going to say, okay, and in this case, what were my 9 biggest wins from the previous week? So it's all with the intention of keeping my mind on, okay, what were the good things I accomplished, Kevin?
Okay. Okay.
And then this gives me confidence, these 2 columns.
Okay.
And this is what was the accomplishment, the reason it's important,
Okay.
future progress I want to make,
Okay.
and then what's the first action? So these 2 columns represent, okay, how do I want to continue to capitalize
Okay.
on my positive accomplishments?
Okay. Okay. It must have taken a lot of time and effort to organize it
Yes.
the way you're organizing it, right?
It did.
Yeah, because initially if I were to write, I won't know where my thing is going to lie, right? Where I'm going to write this part, right?
Correct.
But now you know exactly what to write where and what to refer to when you need it.
For sure.
Right?
And this whole process, I learned a lot of this from a entrepreneurial class that I've been involved in called Strategic Coach.
Okay.
And entrepreneurs, people that are starting their business, typically tend to beat themselves up a lot. They're type A, they're drivers. They're and no matter how successful they are, they actually a lot of times live very unhappy lives because they're always looking at what they did wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're always looking at what
They're
their
too
company.
hard on themselves, I
Yes.
feel like sometimes, yeah.
This is a routine to
Okay.
this positive focus is a routine that I go through to just make sure, okay, let's look at what went right from the previous week. Let's start there. And then when I'm done doing this, my mind is in full creativity mode.
Okay, so because you've jotted down everything.
Yep.
And by the way, I'm making a lot of actions I'm making an action list when I'm creating this. So there's another part to this where I need to make sure I talk to my assistant about this and about this.
Okay.
But all this thought comes to me when I'm just looking back on what went well.
Do you ever refer back to it throughout the day or once, or you don't?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day I'm looking at it.
Okay. No, but like during the day.
During the day, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Usually, though, what I'm looking at is my daily actions.
Okay. Like.
Because it starts with the weekly plan,
Yeah.
and I have an idea of what I want my week to look like.
Yeah.
Then it goes to my daily plan.
Okay.
So when I'm creating my daily plan,
It's getting concentrated from a big long term to a short term. And
Exactly.
Like that.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
That is really informative. And I'm really deeply impressed with all
Thank
this.
you.
I'll have to learn this also from you one day.
yeah, I'd love to. If you're, I'm happy to spend time with you and share it with you, or if your listeners are interested, I'll be curious if they are interested. I'd be happy to come back and teach a lesson on that.
No, this is really helpful. I feel like there's so much to learn from you.
Thank you.
It can't happen in one day, in one sitting. We'll have to meet again. We have to meet again. There's no
Great.
probably here. We have to
Great,
meet again.
great.
And then I want to learn more about specifics, definitely. But this is still a lot. Like I'm so happy I got to meet you and got to read a little bit of this book. But I'm going to keep it.
I love
and
it.
I'm going to read it.
Love it.
And then I may have some questions also.
Perfect.
About like what exactly, because I know I kind of went around her first day and how she's going around the company, but I'm going to find out what happens later on. Like,
Can I share one more thing about this?
Sure.
So I've taught many entrepreneurs this system,
Okay. All right.
and many business people. My wife uses this system. She doesn't work in the business.
Okay.
My children actually use this system where they are my children send me their daily wins.
Okay.
My son is at St. Mary's, my daughter's at Cal Poly, they're in college. My 16-year-old is in high school, but every morning he's got to write his wins from the previous day. And they have to do that, and then they have to create their weekly plan in order for them to get their allowance.
Oh.
Because they're no longer at home doing chores. So what it's done is whatever it is they get on a weekly basis, my wife manages that. In order for them to get that amount, they have to put together their plan for the week.
Okay.
And then leading up to when she gives them their allowance on Sunday, they have to have sent into us their daily wins each day. And so it actually helps us just keep in tune with what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, for example, yesterday my son was telling me how he was at practice with the St. Mary's baseball team, and it went well, and he had a great practice. And it's just so nice to be able to see, without even communicating with him, but to stay connected with him.
Yeah, and it also helps the kids focus, right? Because especially nowadays with so much going on, it's like, okay, there's one focus that it's gonna stay, and this is where you put down your goals and everything, right?
We're building great habits. And by the way, the thing I wanted to say about this, what I was sharing was, this is how I do it. People, and I've taught this many times, you're going to find out what works for you.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
You have to pick and choose whatever I share, pick and choose what you want. Because there may be some things people like, and there may be other things that, gosh, it's just so darn complicated. And this is something that's evolved since 2009, remember? So it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been improving and improving and improving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you can maybe just start with, okay, what are the top 3 things that I want to accomplish today? I remember that's how I started. It was, for me, what were the top 6 things that I want to do for today? It was writing those out before I went to bed. That was what I was doing right when I got into business. And then it evolved into this. So it's
more
like start somewhere, start small. And and then just maintain that discipline, maintain that habit,
Okay.
and it'll keep improving.
All right. Start small, but keep maintaining. Otherwise,
Keep doing it.
improving.
Yeah.
The improvement will happen if you keep doing it.
Correct.
Right?
And be okay with what's called invisible results for a period of time. You won't see this massive change.
Yeah.
You just have to trust, okay, you're
Keep
going to do
doing
this,
it.
keep doing it, keep doing it. And then all of a sudden it's like this, the success curve looks like this. It's very much like this. And then all of a sudden it's like,
Okay.
so, and this is maybe 5 years. So 5 years from today, you're so much further along than you were. But it was a lot of this.
I see that exponential curve, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So before it's like it doesn't show, but then it just
Yes.
goes up. So be patient, right? Patience.
Correct.
That maybe that during that time you're like, okay, nothing is going on, but it will happen.
It will happen.
And keep in mind that the daily wins are there to protect your confidence. I'm gonna look back on yesterday to protect my confidence.
Yeah.
And I'm also gonna look back on yesterday to ask myself, how can I continue to capitalize on that win?
Yeah.
Because you can scale positive things. Negative things, they're impossible to scale. You just let them go.
Yeah.
But you can scale winning things and things that you accomplished, and it's momentum. It's like football. The last 2 minutes of a football game, everybody,
Oh yeah.
they always seem to be able to go down the field and score, and it's all because of momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's so many other topics I want to talk about, but again, we have time restriction. But
Yes.
we can talk forever.
I love it.
You know?
I know. I appreciate it and have enjoyed
but
it.
the humility part, we haven't touched upon that. But maybe next time. But it was great talking to you again.
Thank
I
you.
think there's so much that you have to share to the world, and
Thank you.
We can talk about a lot of things, and this can apply to anyone. It could apply to professional life, personal life, any kind of improvement or handling stress or any of those things, right? Like
For sure.
this kind of process that documenting
Yes.
and not. And as I like that maybe there's slow growth, but it's okay.
It's
You may
okay.
not even see it; it's invisible. It's there, but you're not
Yep.
seeing it, and that's okay too, right?
Getting your feelings, getting your emotions out on paper. I know that may sound like touchy-feely, yet it's just powerful.
It is powerful. Yeah. And it could be like modified based on what the needs are, right? Yeah,
Correct.
That's for sure. All right. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
If you wanna talk about anything at all, then you know who to call. Just tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Just tell Sanjana.